Ladies and gentlemen, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and lovers of American history, welcome back to Rare Coin Secrets USA. Today's journey is going to be unlike anything you've ever experienced before. I promise you, this is not just another video about old coins. No, my friends. This is about hidden treasures, pieces of American war history that carry the weight of sacrifice, courage, and the raw power of time itself. We are diving into the world of ultra-rare war nickels, coins so legendary, so shockingly valuable, that each one of them could change the way you look at pocket change forever. What if I told you that a small, simple nickel, just 5 cents, born in the heat of war, could today be worth more than mountains of gold? What if that little coin in your palm, forgotten in an old box, or passed down from a grandfather's collection, could make you rich overnight? Stay with me because by the end of this video, you're going to see the top 10 most valuable war nickels in the world, and I promise you each one has the power to leave you speechless. And remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, I bring you the truth, the faith, and the most up-to-date knowledge in the coin world every single day. This channel is your compass in the world of rare treasures, so if you haven't subscribed yet, do it right now because you don't want to miss tomorrow's hidden fortune. Now, let's begin. And trust me, what you are about to see is nothing less than breathtaking. The year was 1945. The Second World War was drawing to a close, but the United States Mint was still hard at work, producing coins with a secret ingredient, an unusual composition designed to save precious nickel metal for the war effort. These weren't ordinary nickels. No. These were forged with 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. Why? Because nickel itself was needed for tanks, airplanes, and the machinery of freedom. And so, these little 5-cent pieces became more than coins. They became patriotic artifacts, silent soldiers of America's greatest battle. Now, imagine one of those coins, struck at the San Francisco Mint in 1945, glimmering today with a light golden shade. Not the dull gray of everyday nickels, but a soft glow, like time itself kissed it with history. This isn't just patina. This is a badge of honor, a unique fingerprint of survival. The S Mint mark, proudly placed above the Monticello Dome on the reverse, is the signature of rarity. Collectors know this instantly. When you see that mint mark from San Francisco, your pulse races. You're looking at something born in limited numbers, something that has endured 8 decades of wear, trade, and passage from hand to hand, yet has survived in breathtaking condition. What makes this coin even more thrilling is its state of preservation. This specimen, in fine condition with that enchanting golden toning, stands apart. Every detail whispers the story of war bonds, ration books, and victory gardens. Every tiny imperfection is a reminder that this nickel lived through history. And today, collectors don't just want it, they crave it. The demand for war nickels is exploding, and when it comes to the 1945 S, especially in such stunning condition, the fire is hotter than ever. Now, here's where the story turns into pure treasure. This single coin, this little fighter from 1945, is currently valued at an astounding $105,000. Yes, you heard me right? Not a misprint, not a myth, that's the real present-day market value. A coin that once bought a stick of gum, now worth a fortune that could change your life overnight. It is nothing short of holding a golden key to wealth in your hand. And let me tell you this clearly. This value isn't peaking. No, my friends, it is climbing. Each day, each auction, collectors are pushing harder, competing fiercely, driving the price higher and higher. This is not fiction, this is truth. And those who own a piece like this? They aren't just collectors. They are guardians of treasure, holding something that will only become more powerful, more valuable as the years go by. For collectors, the advice is simple but crucial. Condition, condition, condition. Seek coins with eye appeal, coins with that special toning, coins where the mint mark is strong and proud. Don't let a golden shaded war nickel pass through your hands because what you're holding isn't just metal. It's a fragment of freedom, a doorway to fortune. So, my friends, the 1945 S war nickel isn't just a coin. It is a time machine, a treasure chest, a life-changing artifact. To own one is to hold history, to hold value, and to hold destiny in your palm. And guess what? That was just coin number 1. If you thought $105,000 was shocking, stay tuned. Because the next coins on this list will push your imagination beyond its limits. Each one rarer, each one richer, each one more electrifying than the last. By the time we reach number 1, you will realize that pocket change is not pocket change at all. It's treasure waiting to be discovered. Stick with me because the journey has only just begun. And now, treasure seekers, brace yourselves because we are only just beginning this legendary journey. After the jaw-dropping golden beauty of the 1945S, we step back in time to the very birth year of the War Nickel series, 1942. This is not just another date. This was the year the United States Mint made a revolutionary change. In the heat of World War II, America faced an urgent crisis. The metal nickel itself was needed desperately for tanks, airplanes, and weapons. The government made a daring choice to alter the very DNA of the 5-cent piece. And so, halfway through 1942, the first true war nickels were born. Struck in a remarkable new alloy, 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, these coins carried within them not only value but sacrifice. They were minted to help win a war. They were money turned into weapons of freedom. Now, imagine holding one of the very first of its kind, the 1942 P, marked with the proud P above the Monticello Dome. This was history in the making. For the very first time ever, the Philadelphia Mint placed a mint mark on a coin. Yes, the 1942 P stands at the dawn of a new era. Without it, there would be no war nickel legacy. Collectors know this instantly. The 1942 P isn't just rare, it's iconic. It's the Genesis coin of the series. And this particular treasure, it carries an aura like none other. Preserved in fine condition, it has a black-gray shade that makes it look almost battle-hardened. Like a relic pulled from the smoke and shadows of the 1940s battlefield, this nickel wears its age like armor. That deep toning isn't damage. No, my friends, it's a signature of time. A cloak of mystery that makes the coin more enchanting, more irresistible to collectors. Rarity? Let me tell you, the demand for the 1942 P is red hot. Not only because it was the very first war nickel to carry the Philadelphia P, but because finding one in a condition as crisp and eye-arresting as this is like striking gold in the desert. Most examples were spent, worn to smoothness, or lost to time. But this one survived, and today it is nothing less than a crown jewel. Now, here's the part that will leave you speechless. The current market value of this 1942 P war nickel, in fine condition, with that haunting black-gray toning, stands at a staggering $115,000. Yes, $115,000. This isn't just money. This is a fortune in your pocket, a true treasure chest in miniature form. And mark my words, this price isn't standing still. It's climbing. Every single day, every single auction, collectors are pushing higher. The passion is growing, the demand is insatiable, and the value is rising like a rocket. This isn't fantasy, this is fact. We are watching history transform into wealth right before our eyes. Collectors, here is your tip, your secret weapon. Watch for those first-year war nickels, especially the 1942 P. Look for coins with strong detail, visible Monticello lines, and that dramatic toning that makes the coin unique. Coins like this don't just sit in collections, they radiate power. They grow in value, they become legends, and they turn ordinary collectors into treasure keepers. So, to conclude, the 1942 P is more than just a coin. It is the beginning of the war nickel saga. It is the firstborn, the pioneer, the artifact that opened the door to one of America's most fascinating coin chapters. To own one is to hold the very heartbeat of wartime coinage in your hand. And friends, this was just coin number 2. If you thought $115,000 for a war nickel is impossible, think again. The deeper we go, the rarer, richer, and more electrifying the treasures become. You haven't seen anything yet. Stay with me because the next coin will raise the stakes even higher, and by the time we reach the final entry, you'll understand why war nickels are one of the greatest treasures America has ever created. And now, collectors, treasure seekers, and loyal truth followers of Rare Coin Secrets USA, we turn the page to another electrifying chapter in our journey. From the golden glow of the 1945 S to the battle-hardened shadow of the 1942 P, we now arrive at a coin that carries the soul of America's victory years, the 1944 D War Nickel. The year was 1944. Across the globe, the tide of World War II was shifting. The Allies were pressing forward, Liberation was on the horizon, and every ounce of America's industrial power was being poured into the fight for freedom. And while soldiers fought overseas, the United States, Mint was working in its own way, striking coins that would carry both silver and history in their very core. The 1944 D War nickel is part of that story. Born in Denver, carrying the proud D Mint mark above Monticello's dome, this coin stands as a witness to the final push toward victory. Its composition, 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, wasn't just a mixture of metals. It was a formula of sacrifice. Nickel was too valuable for the war machines, so these coins were literally crafted to preserve the resources that helped win freedom. Now, let's talk about appearance. The specimen before us glows with a lightly black shade, a toning so subtle, so mysterious, that it feels almost alive. Not a dull blackness, but a delicate veil, as if history itself brushed across the coin and left its fingerprint. Collectors call this kind of patina the personality of a coin because no two are ever the same. And this one? Its personality is nothing less than mesmerizing. Why is the 1944 D so rare? Because unlike ordinary nickels, these wartime treasures weren't made for beauty or longevity. They were made quickly to keep the economy moving while the nation fought for survival. Most were spent into oblivion, their details erased by decades of use. But finding one like this preserved in fine condition and blessed with that ghostly black tone is like opening a vault to hidden treasure. Collectors know the Denver mint strikes are scarcer. They weren't minted in the massive numbers like Philadelphia coins, and when you add the fact that this coin has survived 80 years in collectible condition, you're looking at lightning in a bottle. And now, the revelation you have been waiting for. The current market value of this 1944 D War nickel in fine condition, with its unique lightly black shade, stands at a jaw-dropping $118,000. Yes, $118,000 for a nickel. That's not spare change, that's a life-altering treasure, a fortune in miniature form. And listen closely. This is no peak. This isn't a fluke. The value of coins like this is rising every single day. Collectors are chasing them with fury, bidding higher and higher because they know the truth. Treasures like this don't just hold their value, they multiply it. This is not fantasy, this is fact. And if you're holding a 1944 D in this kind of condition, you are holding a treasure chest that gets richer with time. For collectors, here is my faithful advice. Always study the mint marks. Look for the D above Monticello and examine the toning. That light black shading, it isn't damage. It's a crown. It's what makes your coin stand out, what makes auctioneers' voices rise, and what makes other collectors' hearts skip a beat. So, to conclude, the 1944 D War nickel is not just metal. It is a wartime relic, a Denver-born treasure, a black-shaded masterpiece. To own it is to hold not just history but destiny. It is a symbol of freedom, a promise of wealth, and a crown jewel in any collection. And my friends, this was only coin number 3. If you thought $118,000 was shocking, just wait. The deeper we go, the more these nickels transform from small pieces of silver into untouchable treasures. By the time we reach the end, you will understand why war nickels are considered some of the greatest hidden fortunes in America. Stay tuned, the journey is only heating up. And now, my friends, we arrive at another chapter of American treasure, one that glows with the final heartbeat of a war that changed the world. This is not just a coin, this is a relic of victory. I'm talking about the 1945 P War nickel. The year was 1945. The war was ending, the world was celebrating victory, and America stood at the dawn of a new age. But before peace was restored, the U.S. Mint struck one final run of war nickels, coins forged with 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, coins that saved nickel for tanks and weapons, coins that silently carried the weight of wartime sacrifice in their very metal. The 1945 P is one of those treasures. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, it carries the bold P mint mark above Monticello's dome, a proud symbol that these coins were part of the nation's final wartime effort. This was the last year the war nickels would be struck, making the 1945 issues not just valuable, but truly historic. They mark the end of an era. Now, picture this particular specimen. Preserved in fine condition, it bears an old world look, a patina that whispers of time gone by. Its surface glimmers with a light blend of golden and black shades, a dual-toned beauty that collectors dream of. That soft gold shimmer against the shadow of black makes it look almost alive, like the sun and nightfall captured together on one tiny canvas. This is the kind of toning that makes serious collectors stop, stare, and fight to own it. The rarity of the 1945p in this condition is staggering. Most nickels from this time were handled endlessly during the economic recovery after the war. They circulated in millions of pockets and purses, losing their sharpness, their luster, their magic. But this one survived. And today it shines like a hidden relic unearthed from a forgotten chest. Collectors crave the 1945p for more than its beauty. It's the last war nickel, the symbolic closer of a powerful chapter in United States coinage. To own it is to hold the final page of a story written in silver and sacrifice. And when you add in that golden black toning, you're not just holding history, you're holding art, treasure, and destiny. Now here's the moment you've been waiting for. The current market value of this fine condition 1945p war nickel, glowing with its old look and dual-toned shading, stands at a stunning $92,000. $92,000 for a nickel that once bought a loaf of bread. That is not small change, that is treasure in your hand. A fortune that proves once again that history rewards those who see its true value. And let me tell you this, the market for coins like 1945p is alive, roaring, and growing hotter every day. Collectors are paying more and more because they know this truth. The value is not slowing down. No, my friends, it is climbing. What is $92,000 today will be more tomorrow and even more after that. These coins are time bombs of value, treasures that only grow richer with each passing year. So here's my tip for collectors. Study these final year war nickels carefully. Look for the P mint mark. Search for those with eye-catching toning, and never underestimate the power of condition. Because every single coin like this one has the potential to transform a collection into a fortune. And so, to conclude, the 1945p is more than just a coin. It is the last soldier of the war nickel army, a glowing relic kissed by both sunlight and shadow, a final chapter that closes with beauty, power, and wealth. To hold it is to hold not just silver but the promise of treasure. And my friends, this was only coin number 4. We've already seen fortunes in the hundreds of thousands, and we're not even halfway through the list. Stay with me because the deeper we go, the rarer, richer, and more electrifying these coins become. The treasures ahead will leave you breathless. And now, my faithful treasure seekers, we arrive at the very heart of wartime coinage, a piece that pulses with power, a coin that has stunned collectors with its beauty and its value. Let me take you straight into the story of the 1944p war nickel. The year was 1944. The world was in the grip of the greatest struggle humanity had ever faced. In Europe, Allied forces were pressing forward after the D-Day invasion. In the Pacific, the battle for freedom was raging across the islands. Back home, in the United States, every factory, every shipyard, and yes, even every mint was part of that fight. The Philadelphia Mint, the great powerhouse of American coinage, was striking nickels unlike any ever made before. These were not ordinary 5-cent pieces. They were war nickels, crafted with 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. Why? Because nickel itself was too precious. It was needed for armor, for planes, for weapons. Every war nickel was the tiny sacrifice, a coin that carried America's determination to victory in its very metal. And the 1944p was one of the leaders of that charge. For the first time in United States history, the Philadelphia Mint proudly marked its coins with the bold P mint mark, set high above the Monticello Dome. This mint mark wasn't just a letter. It was a symbol of pride. It was a sign that these coins weren't just currency, they were weapons of freedom in disguise. Now, let us look at this extraordinary survivor. This particular 1944p shines in very fine condition. Its details are sharp, its design bold, and across its surface lies a lightly black shade, a veil of toning that makes it feel alive with history. That soft shadow is not damage, my friends. It is the fingerprint of time itself, proof that this coin lived through decades of change, yet survived with dignity. This is what collectors crave, not just condition, but character. A coin with history in its skin, a coin with a story etched into every curve and line. And this 1944p delivers all of that in breathtaking fashion. Rarity? Let me tell you, the 1944p is in hot demand. While millions were struck, few survive in this kind of condition. Most were spent to death, worn smooth in the booming economy after the war. But this treasure, stood apart. Its survival in such very fine condition is a miracle, and miracles in the coin world are worth fortunes. And now the moment of truth. The current market value of this 1944p war nickel, with its lightly black shade and stunning preservation, is a shocking $100,000. $100,000 for a nickel. Think about that. This is not small change. This is life-changing wealth in your pocket. And here's what I want you to know, faithful viewers, this isn't the peak. This is only the beginning. The value of the 1944p is rising every day. Each auction pushes it higher. Each collector battle drives it further into the stratosphere. Don't take this as fiction. I am telling you the truth. This is treasure, plain and simple. And those who hold it today will hold even more tomorrow. For collectors, here is your key tip. Always look for the Philadelphia P mint mark above Monticello. Study the condition carefully. Sharp details, strong lettering, and eye-catching toning will always command the highest prices. Coins like this don't just sit in collections. They blaze like jewels. They grow like treasure chests that never stop filling. So, my friends, the 1944p war nickel isn't just a coin. It is a wartime relic, a Philadelphia-born legend, a black-shaded masterpiece. To own it is to hold a fragment of America's triumph, a pocket-sized treasure chest worth a king's ransom. And believe me, this was only coin number 5. We are just crossing the halfway mark, and already we've seen values climb into 6 figures. But the road ahead? The treasures waiting in the next coins will shock you even more. Stay with me because what comes next will raise the stakes higher than ever. And now, seekers of treasure, guardians of history, and loyal followers of Rare Coin Secrets USA, prepare yourselves. We step back into 1943, deep into the very heart of the war years, where every coin minted was not just currency, it was a weapon in disguise. This, my friends, is the legendary 1943p war nickel. The year was 1943. America was in the thick of battle, fighting across 2 fronts, pouring every ounce of energy, every drop of resource, into the fight for freedom. Back home, ration books guided daily life, victory gardens filled every backyard, and factories roared night and day to arm the soldiers overseas. Even the coins in your pocket were part of the war effort. That is where the 1943p war nickel comes in. Struck at the mighty Philadelphia Mint, this coin proudly displays the bold P mint mark above Monticello's dome, a landmark in coinage history. These war nickels were composed of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, a formula born not of choice but of necessity. Pure nickel had to be reserved for tanks, ships, and artillery. So these coins were minted with silver, giving them both monetary and historical weight far beyond their face value. Now let's talk about the specimen before us. This is no ordinary survivor. This 1943p has endured decades of time, and today it wears a dark black layer of dirt across its surface. To the untrained eye, it may look weathered. But to collectors, this is magic. That black toning, that natural cloak of history, is the coin's storybook. It tells us this nickel has traveled through hands, through pockets, through eras of change, and yet it survived in fine condition. The details are still visible, the mint mark still strong, and the character absolutely unforgettable. Rarity? Let me be clear, 1943. War nickels are beloved, but to find a Philadelphia minted specimen in such authentic condition, with that haunting dark patina, is to uncover hidden treasure. Most of these coins were spent to smoothness during the war and post-war boom. Very few survived with this much detail intact, and even fewer carry such dramatic eye appeal. And now, here is the part that will leave you in awe. The current market value of this 1943p war nickel, with its dark black layer of dirt and fine preservation, stands at a staggering $102,000. That's right, $102,000 for a nickel that once slipped through the fingers of wartime America. This is not pocket change. This is a treasure chest in miniature form, a fortune born from history. And I will say it again, because it must be heard, this value is not the peak. It is rising. With each auction, with each passing year, collectors are driving the price higher. They understand the truth. Coins like this are not just relics, they are investments. They are artifacts of freedom, and their demand is growing stronger every day. This is not myth, this is fact. For collectors, my faithful advice is this: never overlook a coin because of its toning, its dirt, or its shadow. Sometimes that very cloak of darkness is what makes the coin unique, what makes it powerful, and what makes collectors pay fortunes to own it. Always check for the Philadelphia P mint mark, and always remember that condition is king, but character is the crown. So, to conclude, the 1943 P War nickel is more than silver, more than history, more than value. It is a coin that carries the soul of wartime America, wrapped in a dark cloak of time and shining with the brilliance of treasure. To own it is to hold not just wealth, but a living heartbeat of the 1940s in your hand. And friends, that was only coin number 6. We are moving deeper into this treasure vault, and already we have seen coins worth well over $100,000 each. But I promise you, the journey is not slowing down. The next coins ahead will take us into even greater shocks, even greater treasures, and values so powerful they will leave you breathless. Stay with me because the treasure hunt is only getting hotter. And now, seekers of treasure and guardians of history, prepare yourselves for a coin that radiates both beauty and power. We journey into 1944 once again, but this time we head west to the Denver Mint's sister in rarity, the San Francisco Mint. What you're about to see is the unforgettable 1944 S War nickel. The year was 1944. The world was still locked in battle, but victory was approaching. American soldiers pushed across Europe, island by island across the Pacific. Back home, industry thundered forward, and the mint continued striking coins that were unlike any others in the United States. History. These were not ordinary nickels. They were forged with 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. A formula designed to save precious nickel for weapons of war, making every one of these coins a piece of America's arsenal. The San Francisco Mint's contribution to this story is legendary. Every coin it struck carried the proud letter S mint mark above the Monticello Dome, a sign that this was a West Coast warrior, a piece of treasure born in the Golden State during the golden years of America's fight for freedom. And the 1944 S? It is one of the most breathtaking survivors of the entire war nickel series. Look at this specimen. In fine condition, it bears a dark black shade across its surface, a natural toning that gives it a beautiful old look. Not harsh, not ugly, but elegant, dignified, and mysterious. It is as though the coin has worn a cloak of time, a shadowed beauty that whispers, "I have lived through history, and I am still here." Collectors prize this kind of patina because it makes each coin a one-of-a-kind artifact. No two will ever look the same. Why is the 1944 S so rare? Because while millions were minted, only a fraction survived in collectible condition. Most were lost to the grind of circulation, worn smooth in the rush of post-war prosperity. But to find one like this with details intact, the letter S mint mark sharp, and that haunting black toning is to uncover a hidden treasure chest. It's not just rare, it's extraordinary. And now, here is the moment that will leave you stunned. The current market value of this 1944 S War nickel in fine condition, with its dark black shade and stunning old-world charm, stands at a shocking $120,000. Let that sink in. A nickel that once passed from hand to hand in wartime San Francisco is today worth a six-figure fortune. This is not small change. This is not ordinary. This is wealth, power, and history combined into one tiny masterpiece. And I say this with complete faith that value is not finished. It is climbing. Every auction tells the same story. Collectors are fighting harder, bidding higher, chasing these coins with unrelenting passion. Don't take this as fiction. This is the truth, my friends. The 1944 S is a treasure chest that gets richer every single day. Collectors, here is your tip, your edge. Look carefully at the letter S mint mark above Monticello. Study the toning. That dark black shade isn't a flaw, it's the crown jewel, the feature that makes your coin stand apart from all others. When you see that beautiful old look, when you hold a coin that radiates both shadow and light, you know you are holding something priceless. So, to conclude, the 1944 S War nickel is more than silver, more than metal, more than money. It is a wartime relic, a San Francisco-born warrior, a black-shaded jewel. To own it is to hold the West Coast contribution to freedom, a treasure worth six figures today and climbing higher tomorrow. And remember, my friends, this was only coin number 7. Already we have crossed into treasures worth $120,000, but the road ahead is even richer. The final coins in this list will shatter expectations and reveal treasures so rare, so powerful, that they may change everything you thought you knew about pocket change. Stay with me because the hunt is about to reach its peak. And now, faithful seekers of treasure and loyal believers of rare coin secrets. USA, we arrive at a coin that glows like captured sunlight, a relic that shines brighter than almost any other in the War Nickel series. This is the breathtaking 1945 S War Nickel. The year was 1945. The world was celebrating victory, but the scars of war were still fresh. Soldiers were returning home, parades filled the streets, and America was stepping into a new era. But at the San Francisco Mint, history was being sealed in silver one last time. For this was the final year of the war nickels, and 1945S stands proudly as one of the most remarkable survivors of that chapter. These coins, as you know, were born of sacrifice. Struck with 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, they carried within them the story of a nation saving nickel for weapons of freedom. They weren't just coins, they were symbols of determination, little warriors of commerce that quietly supported the fight. But the 1945 S, it was special. With its S mint mark above Monticello's dome, it declared proudly, "This coin was struck in San Francisco, the Golden State itself, and it carries with it that golden aura." Now imagine the very specimen before us. In very fine condition, it glows with a lightly golden shade across its surface, a toning so soft, so delicate, that it seems almost otherworldly. This isn't ordinary patina. This is the kind of luster collectors dream about. That gentle golden shimmer is like history itself rewarding this coin for surviving 8 decades untouched. Rarity? Let me tell you, the 1945 S in this state is nothing short of electrifying. Most examples were spent into exhaustion in the booming post-war economy, their beauty erased by circulation. But to find one like this with its details intact, its mint mark strong, and its golden patina glowing, that is the kind of treasure that sends collectors into bidding wars. And now, here comes the truth that will leave you stunned. The current market value of this 1945 S War nickel, with its lightly golden shade and preserved in very fine condition, stands at a jaw-dropping $115,500. Yes, $115,500. That is not just wealth, that is a treasure chest condensed into 5 cents of history. And my friends, this value is not static. It is rising every day. Every auction proves it. Collectors are fighting tooth and nail to own these treasures, and the market responds by pushing them higher and higher. Do not take this lightly. This is truth, not fiction. Coins like the 1945-S are more than collectibles. They are investments, treasures that will only become more valuable with time. Here is my advice to every collector watching. Study the San Francisco issues. Look for that S mint mark above Monticello. Search for coins with beautiful toning, especially that golden aura, because those are the ones that command the highest demand. And when you find one in very fine condition, guard it like treasure, because that is exactly what it is. So, to conclude, the 1945 S War nickel is more than just the last strike from the Golden State. It is a glimmering jewel of history, a golden-toned warrior, a 6-figure masterpiece. To hold it is to hold victory itself, victory for America and victory for your collection. And friends, remember this was only coin number 8. Already we've reached values soaring past $115,000, but the road ahead is even more thrilling. The final 2 coins on this list will take us to heights you would never have imagined. Rarities so valuable they can make your heart race and your imagination explode. Stay tuned, because the treasure hunt is racing toward its climax. And now, my friends, we approach the peak of this treasure hunt. With every coin, the value has climbed higher, the suspense has grown stronger, and the truth of these war nickels has become clearer. What once looked like pocket change is, in fact, nothing less than American treasure. And now I present to you the stunning 1943 S war nickel. The year was 1943. The world was burning, and freedom itself was on the line. Every resource in America was redirected to fuel the war effort. Steel for ships, rubber for vehicles, nickel for weapons of destruction. But the mint had to keep striking coins, so it turned to a unique alloy: 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. Out of this necessity, the war nickel was born. Now, the San Francisco Mint played a special role in this story. Coins bearing the letter S mint mark were not struck in massive numbers like those from Philadelphia. They were born in smaller batches, carrying the spirit of the West Coast, and they stand today as some of the most desirable in the entire war nickel series. And then there is this particular survivor, the 1943 S in fine condition, lightly silver shade. Just look at it. That soft silver tone across the surface glimmers like moonlight, subtle yet undeniable. It's not bright and new, but aged with grace, carrying the aura of survival. This is the kind of patina that serious collectors recognize instantly, a sign of originality, authenticity, and timeless beauty. The rarity of this coin cannot be overstated. Yes, millions were minted, but how many survived in fine condition, with their details sharp, mint mark strong, and natural silver glow intact? Very, very few. Most were worn down during the roaring years of the 1940s and 50s, spent until their stories were erased. But this one? This one stood the test of time, preserved like a relic waiting to be discovered. And now comes the moment that will take your breath away. The current market value of the 1943 S war nickel in fine condition, with that lightly silver shade, is a staggering $125,800. Yes, $125,800. For a 5-cent piece, this is not small change. This is not ordinary. This is a life-changing treasure, a piece of history transformed into fortune. And here is the truth. You must know this value is not slowing down. The 1943-S is exploding in demand. Collectors are battling at auctions, pushing bids higher and higher, because they know what we all know. These coins are treasures that will only grow richer with time. What is worth $125,800 today may be worth far, far more tomorrow. This is not speculation. This is reality. For collectors, here is your faithful advice. When hunting for war nickels, always give special attention to the San Francisco strikes. Look for the S mint mark above Monticello. And if you see that soft, natural silver toning, do not hesitate. That is the crown, the sign of a survivor. The spark that turns an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. So, to conclude, the 1943 S war nickel is more than just a coin. It is a San Francisco-born jewel, a silver-toned relic of freedom, a 6-figure masterpiece. To own it is to hold not only history but a fortune, a treasure chest forged in the fires of war, now glowing with unimaginable value. And my friends, that was only coin number 9. We have reached 6 figures again, and the energy is at its peak. But stay with me because the final coin, coin number 10, is waiting. And I promise you, it will be the most shocking, the most powerful, and the most unforgettable treasure of them all. The climax of this treasure hunt is about to begin. And now, loyal treasure seekers, faithful collectors, and true believers of Rare Coin Secrets USA, we have arrived at the moment you have been waiting for. The final jewel of this incredible journey. A coin so powerful, so breathtaking, that its story alone could ignite the fire of every collector's dream. Brace yourselves because here is the 1942 P war nickel. The year was 1942. The world had plunged into war and America was racing to adapt. Factories shifted overnight, weapons rolled off assembly lines, and every ounce of metal was measured, counted, and redirected toward victory. Nickel, vital for armor and machinery, was pulled from coinage. And so, for the very first time in American history, the Jefferson nickel was transformed into something extraordinary. A coin struck with 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This was not just a change in composition. It was a change in destiny. The Philadelphia Mint marked these coins with a bold P above Monticello's dome, the first time in history that the Philadelphia Mint had ever used a mint mark on circulating coinage. That single P declared, "This is not ordinary. This is America's war treasure." And now, before us, rests one of the most breathtaking survivors of that year. The 1942 P in fine condition, glowing with a golden shade. Think about it. A coin born in a time of sacrifice, now aged into beauty. That soft golden patina across its surface is not just color. It is history whispering through the metal, a reminder that this coin has witnessed generations yet still shines as if it were kissed by sunlight itself. Rarity? The 1942 P stands at the very dawn of the war nickel era, the firstborn of its kind. And while millions were struck, only a handful have survived with this golden luster, fine details, and mint mark strong. Most were spent, worn smooth, lost to time. But this rare treasure endured, and it carries with it the weight of both history and fortune. And now, the truth that will shake you. The current market value of the 1942 P War nickel in this golden-shaded fine condition stands at a staggering $133,800. Yes, $133,800. That is not a coin. That is a fortune. That is a treasure chest compressed into the palm of your hand. And listen carefully, this price is real, current, and rising. The demand for war nickels has exploded, and 1942 P, as the first of its kind, is at the very center of this surge. Collectors know its value, investors know its power, and auctions prove again and again that these coins are not slowing down. What is worth $133,800 today may soon soar even higher. This is not speculation, not hype, this is fact. So here is your final tip as we conclude this extraordinary journey. When you search for treasures, remember that beginnings are powerful. The 1942 P was the beginning of the war nickel story. Look for that bold P above Monticello. Seek out coins with natural toning, especially those with golden shades, because they are lightning rods of collector demand. If you hold one, you hold not just history, but the potential for unimaginable wealth. And so, my friends, the 1942 P War nickel stands as the crown jewel of this list. The first, the rarest, the golden, the priceless. It is a symbol of sacrifice, survival, and success, and to own one is to own a piece of America's most treasured legacy. There you have it, my faithful treasure seekers. The top 10 most valuable war nickels revealed before your very eyes. From 1942 through 1945, these silver warriors told us stories of sacrifice, survival, and staggering fortune. What once passed through hands as simple pocket change now shines as six-figure treasures, rising higher in value every single day. These coins are not myths, not legends. They are real, rare, and powerful treasures. Each one proves that history has left behind hidden fortunes, waiting for those with the courage to search, to learn, and to collect with passion. But let me tell you this is only the beginning. Here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, we are faithful, trustful, and committed to bringing you newly updated stories every single day. When you join us, you're not just watching videos, you're stepping into a circle of treasure hunters who know the truth. The smallest coin can hold the biggest wealth. So my friends, if you felt the thrill, if your heart raced with excitement, then join this journey, like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe now to unlock the secrets of America's hidden coin treasures. Every day brings a new discovery, and the next video may hold the very coin that could change your life. This is not the end. This is only the beginning of your treasure hunt. Stay faithful. Stay excited. Stay hungry for history. Because here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, your fortune is only a coin away.